This is Tracy with RoadDawgOnline.com, and today with Trey Gray with Brooks and Dunn, and Johnny C.
Oh, the man.
The one and only, the man that makes it all happen for Trey. We're in St. Louis, and we're doing a show today with these guys. And first of all, how did it all start for you, man? How'd you get to this point? You know,
With the B&D camp or just the whole Nashville thing?
the whole Nashville thing, man.
Dude, I was out. You know, I grew up playing as you did, and after high school, I was going to move to New York City,
Mm-hmm.
and I had saved up about $5,000. I was trying to save some more money, and I was playing in a band in Indiana, and a buddy of mine had a friend who just got a publishing deal in Nashville, who was in town. And after one of my breaks from my club gig that night, he goes, "Man, you should come to Nashville." Because it's that whole, it was '89 at that particular time. And that's when the whole pop country thing was starting to happen, just starting to really take off. Of course, I mean, just barely. But I'm much more of a hard-hitting kind of pop drummer than I am, you know, a laid back drummer, which is nothing wrong with that. Just I'm different than the old school country drummer per se, right? As you are too.
Oh yeah,
as you are
exactly.
too, right? I mean, you know. So I did. 6 months later, I moved to Nashville, and then it was 1990 by that time, and then I worked in a warehouse, man, like 70 hours a week. Played with a whole bunch of different bands, and then in 1993, I got my first tour bus gig with a guy on RCA, and only lasted like 7 months, and then I did a thing for these 4 girls that were on MCA, Jimmy Buffett's label, Margaritaville, MCA, and then February '94, I auditioned for Faith Hill, and I mean, you know, thank you God for that one.
Yeah.
So from '94 to 2000, yeah.
How was the audition process?
The
Was
audition-
that a friend of a friend, or?
No, well, I was out doing a radio tour. And what radio tours are, people who don't know what radio tours are, they still do them. A new artist will go around 3 or 4 stations a day in like a van or something, or now they do buses, and they'll play the single and they'll talk and schmooze A&R guys and the record, you know, the radio guys. So I was on a radio tour with David Ball, Thinking Problem.
Yeah.
Right before that came out, he was on Warner Brothers. So it was me, Mark Winchester on upright bass, me on a snare drum. We'd go to radio stations. It was so cool. It's called the Winnebago Tour. We had a Winnebago. But I did that, and from that, I remember cutting off that tour, and we called that a tour. And the guy from Warner Brothers goes, "This new girl named Faith Hill, you know, she had that #1 song, Wildly, because it was that Christmas that was stayed there for like 3 weeks or something. Remember, got stuck there, and then obviously we're gonna put a band together. So I called the band leader. They got me the number from the band leader, and I called, and he blew me off. He goes, "We've already had a couple days of drummers. We got a guy." So I went, "Cool." You know, what do? You just, you know, I'm still kind of green, so I just was looking for my next gig. So what happened was, in walks Gary Moore, so stupid. So I, 2 weeks go by, and I get a call from the band leader, going, "We're going to do a couple more days. Can you come in, you know, tomorrow at like 4 or something?" And this was a cattle call, which if you guys know what a cattle call is, you know, 50 drummers probably, you know, and they give you a slot, like a 20-minute slot or whatever. And I was booked on something, which at that time I was hardly ever booked, and I went, "No, I can't come in." He goes,
You doubled up on the audition.
well, he goes, "Well then, can you come in first thing in that morning?" And I went, "Actually, I can do that." That was really cool. So it was horrible. It was piss ass horrible. I walked in, and at that particular time, they had me learn like 3 songs. Well, here's how it started. I got my car. I know I'm probably long-winded. Got my
No, I
car,
love it.
my Ford Escort wagon, dark blue. Had my stick bag, my little backpack, my stick bag on top of the car with like the charge, you know, my little rhythm watch. At that time, it wasn't a rhythm watch. It was a Dr. B. And I'm like, I think I look good today, you know, I rocking. So back out, I'm driving. I'm like a mile down the road, and this guy's honking at me. I left it on top of the. So my day started off being crap, right?
Wow.
But how nice is that? A guy goes, "Dude, just drop it
never
back." Never, you know. So I get there, and I'm like, you know, all shook up, and we took a snare drum and sticks is what I brought.
Typical Nashville setup for an
Yeah,
audition.
at that time it was a piccolo snare. I brought like a piccolo.
That was the style, man. That was
So
it.
I sit down. It would Take Me As I Am, and it's like I can to this day. It's like 1, 2, 3, da 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 da, and then it breaks down, right? So we do the intro, like breakdown. Baby, don't turn out. We get to the chorus. I don't need no bet. Faith walks off the stage.
Oh.
So I look over at the band leader, and I went, okay, man, thanks a lot. So I pack up, and everybody says thanks, whatever.
Are you
thanks.
terrified?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's like, cool. That wasn't what they were looking for. Because auditions, man, are so, you know that.
Yeah.
When you walk in the door, they know if they want you or not. It has nothing to do, unless you just suck ass. But and then still, hey, we can get jobs, right?
Yeah. So sooner or later.
So yeah. So I go do my thing that day. I get done. I get home later that night, and there's a message on my machine going, "Please call me." It was a band leader. I call back up, and he goes, "Well, you're gonna really laugh at this, but it's between you and another guy." And I went, "Wait a minute, man! I didn't even do like a full song." And he goes, "Yeah, but here's what I gotta tell you." He goes, "I actually gotta tell this other guy to play less, and I'm gonna ask you to play a little more." Like, and I think he meant more, as in, like. I didn't even know. I was like, while I was playing the song, I was very sure that I learned, Nashville, learned the part for part. So I went, okay, whatever. So he goes, you're second tomorrow. Okay. So my slot was like 11 a.m. at sound check. So I get there a little early, maybe like 1:45, just to, and I don't know who's in there. Well, next thing you know, it's like 11:30. I'm sitting out there, and they keep running songs, and I hear a click track going. They're like working out stuff. So I said, this is the rudest people. First, yesterday, they just walked off, didn't really say anything, and now, why don't they just come out? So then a guy opens the door, who I knew, which I didn't know at the time was going to be in there. It was her first tour manager, who was a buddy of mine's old roommate, who I'd met, and he's like, Trey, oh! He goes, we're so sorry, we're just running behind. So that happened, so I sat back and like, whatever. So I sit there, so about 15 minutes later, they go, okay, it's your slot, so I have my piccolo. Walk back and have a backpack, and it was a buddy of mine, so I'm not gonna say who the drummer was, but I gave him a hug. He sounded great. I mean, he smoked it. It sounded so good. I just thought, I don't even know what I'm doing. So same thing. Band leader looks over at me. He goes, "You're set?" I said, "I'm okay." He goes, "Okay, take me as I am." I said, "Really? You take me as I am?" Okay. I don't even think we got as far this time. She gets up, walks out the door with Scott Hendricks this time. Producer at the time. Okay. So I went, you gotta be kidding me, right? This is a joke, right? So I'm kind of mad, and I think I'm talking out loud. Like, why did they even call me? So I'm bending over, and Lou Toomey, the guitar player now with Brooks and Dunn, who had already gotten hired, he comes walking over the front of the drums, and he goes, I think you should just be cool and stay. I said, I'm not an idiot. You guys, I didn't even play as much today as I did yesterday. He went, no, I think everything's cool, and then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, here comes the band leader, Faith, and they went, what are you doing the rest of the year?